Many of the victims of serious crime in South Africa never see justice, due often to an overloaded and flawed criminal justice system. One such family is that of Derek Mathews. He and his family were attacked on their farm in January 2020, and 5 suspects were arrested shortly after. Now, 2 years later, all 5 are free. 3 suspects were acquitted, while 2 were sentenced to 2 years, suspended for 5 years. Mathews asks, what is the future of South Africa when there are no consequences for crime? He joins us now via Zoom. Derek, thank you very much for speaking to us. So the attack took place 2 years ago, but I'm sure the event will be forever etched in your memory. Remind us briefly what happened that night.
So on January 25th, 2020, after enjoying an evening with the family, celebrating a stork tea for my daughter, my pregnant daughter, and this, this type of crime could happen anywhere. It's not a matter of it being a farm attack. Farmers are vulnerable because we are isolated and far away from the next police station, but that's not the core of the problem. Armed robbery and the violent crime is endemic to South Africa, and it's not about it because I'm on a farm that it happened. It could happen to anybody anyway. And so, my issue is that there's no consequence. It happens because people get away with it.
So 5 suspects were caught within a very short time period after that attack. What was your opinion of the work done by the police in apprehending the suspects and collecting evidence for the case?
We experienced brilliant work by the police. They were here very, very soon after the incident happened, after we could raise the alarm, and they were extremely thorough. It was not long before senior police were on the case, and the guys were apprehended within a week, and it was just, they did sterling job, and within, I think it was about 10 days or so, we were called to go and identify the goods that were retrieved and so on. So absolute sterling work. I mean, I know that the team spent 3 days and nights without sleep, following and ensuring that they could catch the guys, and they did.
In contrast, you're very disappointed with how the court process has gone. Are you 100% sure, as you live and breathe, that the 5 suspects apprehended were in fact the men who attacked you? And if they are, why do you think the court acquitted 3 of them and sentenced the other 2 to only a suspended jail term?
Well, part of we got very little information during the entire process. Part of the information we did get was that that the guys had made admission statements, and so it was, one kind of wondered how come that they got away with it if they'd admitted to doing the crime. So it was difficult to understand. When I start explaining to you the actual process that we went through the first day that we arrived at court, the prosecutor informed me that he had not read the docket yet, and that he'd only received it the Friday before, and he'd been away for the weekend. So we were going to go into court. He was totally unprepared, and that worried me. We asked that our wives and that the ladies in particular testify in camera because of how they were treated and so on, and that seemed to be a problem for the court. It was not allowed ultimately, and the magistrate even threatened to throw the case out of the court should the prosecutor pursue this line. He thought it was a stalling tactic. And it just simply, was one thing after the next, and it didn't give us any confidence whatsoever in the system, that the system was working. So and then another thing, we were not briefed. And I even asked the prosecutor, what are we supposed to be doing? How are we supposed to be going about this? What are our rights? We were not briefed by anybody. We were not kept up to date. I don't even know on what day the sentence was handed down, because I don't even know what day the court case ended. We were called for an appearance somewhere in October last year to testify about how we identified the retrieved goods. And that was the last we heard of it. If I didn't inquire a week ago about what happened to the case, I still wouldn't have known today what happened.
So all the suspects are free. You were violently attacked in your home 2 years ago. Are you at all worried that they might return?
Well, who's to say they won't? Who's to say they won't return? Who's to say that they won't reoffend? Who's to say that that this can't happen again? You can't. Nobody can give me that guarantee.
Despite being very disappointed in the system, you've said on occasion that you refuse to be characterised as a victim, that you want to stay in South Africa. But how do you feel about the future of South Africa in the light of the failure on the part of the criminal justice system to provide justice for not only your family, but thousands of victims of serious crime?
See, the thing is, it's not about what the people stole, the physical goods that were stolen in the house. What they've stolen from us is the joy, the peace, and the tranquility of the farm. They basically stole our livelihood in that sense, and that can't be replaced unless there's a justice system that can. If the process was fair and the outcome was the same as what it was, and we were comfortable and happy that justice was served, well, then it would be easier, to come to a point of accepting the outcome. But the process isn't there. So in the absence of ensuring that justice is served, what hope is there? What hope is there at all for a future for our kids? It's absolutely unacceptable the way it works.
And what do you think specifically? Sorry, I do apologize. Carry on.
The prosecutor was so busy with a number of cases, he was paging through another docket of a rape case while trying to speak to us in preparation for the case. I mean, how can a man that is so loaded even do a proper job? It's not possible.
So that was going to be my next question. Do you think that the caseload for prosecutors is one of the big flaws with the system? What else do you think is wrong?
Oh, absolutely. I think, what chance does a man have of doing a decent job if he's got 4 or 5 cases running at the same time? That he can't pay attention? That he has not to date, has that prosecutor picked up a telephone, made an appointment, and spoken to any one of us at all. If we haven't spoken to him, if we hadn't gone to court and basically demanded some attention from him, he would not have spoken to us to date. How? Because he doesn't have the time. He's just too busy with a whole lot of cases every day. It can't work like that.
Absolutely, and then the unfortunate reality is that that is the lived experience of many victims of crime in South Africa. Thank you very much for speaking to us and sharing your experiences with us. That was Derek Mathews.